Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing the 1998 film, The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey and Ed Harris. Of course, this film, well, in my opinion, this film actually started the whole reality show genre that we see going on over 20 years now. Well, the basis of The Truman Show is basically Jim Carrey plays this character named Truman, who from birth to present day, was like 30 years later, his life has been completely not set and followed by television cameras 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, practically for his whole life. And Truman didn't know that his entire life was fake on a television show. And that's basically what it is. It's like his life is based on one huge television, like a TV studio, like the biggest TV studio in the world, which is miles long, and it's in the movie it's hyped as this is the largest man-made object, or the second man-made object that you can see from outer space. The other one being the Great Wall of China. So that's how big this movie set is, or this TV set is. So you have like thousands of cameras following the life of Truman. And like I said earlier, that Jim Carrey plays Truman. And he didn't even know that his life was a television show. And it's broadcast live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's like watching some guy's life. It's like watching the show Big Brother. It's like watching the reality show Big Brother, but instead of watching it like an hour or 2 hours a week, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 30 years. Because that's how old Truman was supposed to be, at the end, towards the end of this movie. But when Truman actually does realize his life is a television show, it's not reality. It's made up situations that they put him in. And he realizes this. He realizes some crazy shit was happening. Because first of all, it's this one woman who Truman was in love with. He actually was legitimately in love with, and he went out to like the senior prom with her, and he wanted to marry her and stuff, but she was and then she gave him information that his life was fake. This is all fake. This beach is not real. This is not really a beach. There's not really sand, waves coming in. This is all made up for a television show. We were on a television set. This is not real. This is not reality. This whole thing is made up for you, to make you think that this is real, but it's not real. It's for entertainment value. And at first, and then what they did with this girl was they pretty much kicked her out of the set, and that made Jim Carrey or Truman believe that she moved to Fiji. So throughout the rest of the movie, Truman wanted to make take a trip to Fiji so he could see this other girl. And he ran into like one obstacle after this is one subplot. He ran into one obstacle after another. Say, oh, you can't go to Fiji. Everything is booked. This is a lousy time to go down there. Whatever. But the truth of the matter was, they didn't want him to leave the set. They didn't want to leave this fictional, made-up town they made for Truman. They didn't want him to leave there. They wanted him to stay where he is, and to set up one experience after another for him. And one thing they didn't do was for him to have kids. And so the people who are actually watching this program are wondering how come they never let him have children. So that's one thing. One subplot. And another subplot is, how come he married this? And he did, after his original girlfriend, the one I just mentioned, broke up with him. He marries, not too long after, he marries this other girl. And he never, and people will complain, oh, how come we can marry this girl and not the other one? Or because they kicked her out because she told Truman, or I should say, trying to tell Truman that his life was fake and that it's a television show. This is not really his real life. Everything is set for him and all that stuff. So he wasn't sure whether to believe it or not. But it's one particular day he's driving to his job. It was made up for him. And on the radio, he turned his radio on in his car, and he realizes he actually picked up the transmission of all the people talking. The director Ed Harris, who was the producer and director of the Truman Show, and the people he's talking to, or go to camera 3, or go to camera 10, or making the cuts for all the different camera angles. So Truman goes, what the hell? He goes, what the hell is this? And then he's starting to realize that, hey, what the other girl said, the girl that was actually in love with, actually was telling the truth. And it was then Truman was starting to realize that his whole life is fake, which made it a very interesting part. They actually finally realized what was happening, and then he saw one bit where instead of going to his office building, he went to a building next door, and he realizes that the elevators were fake because he saw people in the back, through the elevator, because the elevator was fake. So he saw through a fake panel, people working on the Truman Show. So get him out of here, get him, and they all got him out, and said that he's going nuts, and all this nonsense, and which of course is not true. He's not really going nuts. He's just finally realizing what was going on. Sorry on my phone. They're getting notifications all day long. Sorry about that. So he realizes now he's finally come to realize what's going on. So what they did was they went to set up a storyline where his wife leaves him, and he gets involved with a new woman. They wanted to do that, and then he realized. Then he comes to the realization that this was bullshit, and so he decides to leave. He decides to go across the ocean in a boat. He steals a boat, and what they did was they set up the storm to possibly kill him. And Ed Harris's boss was demanding that Ed Harris to stop this crap, to stop this nonsense. But Ed Harris didn't want to do it because if he doesn't stop Truman would leave, ruin the show, and he would have, after 30 years of doing this doing this show and manipulating Jim Carrey's character and manipulating Truman, thinking that his life is that was actually all made up for him, was actually real, which is we all know it's not. And he goes through the storm, and Ed Harris's boss demanded him to stop. So he does end up stopping it, and the boat that Truman was on actually hits a wall. The other end of this huge set hits the wall, and he looks around. He's actually walking on top of the water, which was very interesting. To see that. And then he's walking along the edge of the set, this fake wall, and the water, and he sees the staircase. He actually climbs up the staircase, and he sees an exit door there, like an emergency exit door. And people were wondering if he would actually go through that door and leave this set finally. And Ed Harris gets on a headset, and he's speaking to Truman. He says, "Don't." And Ed Harris is trying to convince Truman not to leave, because if it wasn't, hey Truman, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this life. If it were not for me, I created this whole thing just for you, buddy. And if you leave this, you ungrateful little, piece of garbage, you're an ungrateful piece of crap, and is doing all this trash talking, and then Truman says, his phrase has been saying in throughout times throughout the movie, and right now, see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And he actually says this phrase, and he actually turns around, he walks out this exit door, and he just leaves. And the people who are actually watching the Truman Show, and there's one particular restaurant who has the Truman Show on all the time, and you see how many days, over 10,000 days, they were tuning into the Truman Show. They all went crazy because Truman finally realizes that the whole story was fake, and he leaves. And one thing that, even though to me there was a great ending, but one thing that I like to see happen, and after that they want to make it like a second Truman Show movie, because this movie was such an unbelievable success, and it was. It got a ton of praise. It really did. It's really, really a good movie. But what I would like to see is Truman reunite with the original girlfriend that they kicked off the show. But the problem was that he doesn't really know exactly where she actually was. It would have been cool if the two characters actually reunite in the end of the movie and fall in love and actually get married and have kids and yada yada yada. And I would like to see them do like an update, like an Unsolved Mysteries update, and when after Truman walks out, or to see footage of him reuniting with the girlfriend, or the original girlfriend that was supposed to off the show, and to see that happen. I really would like to see that happen, but that was my one real nitpick of this movie, that they didn't have a reunion with Truman and his other girlfriend, or should I say the original girlfriend. But the Truman Show I thought was really, really good. It really felt that Jim Carrey should have won an Oscar for his portrayal in this film. I think he actually was nominated, but he unfortunately he didn't get the Oscar for the Truman Show, even though I think it was also nominated for Best Picture and all that. But we all know that and I think Shakespeare in Love actually won the Oscar for Best Picture the next year. But I felt that the Truman Show was really a really damn good movie, and it should have gotten more praise than it did, or at least won a couple of Oscars, because it was really innovative. And like I said at the top of this review, it came before the reality show genre. So if the Truman Show came out today, people would criticize the hell out of this movie. But since we never seen a movie like this, or a movie with a premise like this, it was really novel for its time. And like I said, it dates the reality show genre. It's kind of like when you had the alien autopsy, not the alien autopsy, the alien abduction, incident in Lake County film, which is on YouTube now. It predates the found footage genre. Because everybody knows, the Blair Witch Project, but Alien Abduction Incident in Lake County was before the Blair Witch Project, and the original Alien Abduction film, which came out, was made back in 1989, dates back to the Blair Witch Project for about 10 years, the found footage genre. So, but the Truman Show, it was like a little bit closer in time. It was only like 2 years difference before Survivor came on the air in 2000. So I mean, it predates the reality show genre, so that's why the Truman Show was such a novelty at that time, and such a unique film and a unique take on stuff. And I thought, like I said earlier, Jim Carrey should have won an Oscar for this movie. He was that good. I mean, it's a guy who mostly had done comedies early in his career, and even after this movie a little bit. But this movie really showed that Jim Carrey could actually act. And I thought he was damn good in the movie, and should have won an Oscar for this movie, because he was that good. So that's my review of the movie The Truman Show. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. And please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. That's all WDY and that's C.com. There's a homepage of my reviewer. Please see more, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.